Hello YouTube, this is Galby Yu-Gi-Oh here, and this is part 12 of my walkthrough of Dark Souls 3. In this episode I'm going to be doing the second half of the Cathedral of the Deep all the way up until the boss. We unlocked a shortcut at the end of the last episode, and I'm going through that shortcut back into the Cathedral again. But before I go back into the Cathedral, I'm actually going to take another optional route. You don't have to go here, but it does unlock a Covenant. And the Covenant is quite good. It actually offers some great things for people who don't really even use the Covenant. It's a PvP Covenant though, so if you're into that, you can, give it a go. There was 3 items here, which I picked up at the end of the last episode, but that recording was slightly cut. And they're the Lloyd Sword Ring and 2 soul packets, so not very much. The Lloyd Sword Ring is quite good actually. It boosts your attack power, or your attack rating, when your health is at full. So quite good overall. And there's only one other item that you won't be seeing in this part, and it's the Divine Braille Tome, or the Deep Braille Tome, which is a Dark Miracle Tome. And here you can see me looking over where the items are. So that's where the 3 items are all lumped together. Down the bottom of the staircase was a mimic who I killed. That's where I got the deep tome, which you can give to the Miracle Merchant, unlocking some interesting miracles. I just took a few stabs there to show where the mimic would have been. But yeah, everything from now on will be on video. All the items, everything else. So straight across this bridge is a miracle. Seek guidance, and there is a small ambush here. 3 of those small, I guess they are called thralls, because you get the thrall hood and the thrall axe off of them. But there's 3 of them, so be careful. 2 of them have the axes. I'm pretty sure the 3rd one has the axe too. Yeah, so 3 axe thralls. They're actually kind of the easiest ones in my opinion. But if you finish those off, you can go grab this item. There's a slime above, so be careful. You can see it drop down here. Oh, perhaps not. But I do think it drops down. So be careful. Grab the item quickly, and if you roll away, you should be able to avoid it. Next, you go up these stairs. There's an evangelist up here, so do be careful. Especially in this kind of area where there's not a lot of space to move around. As you can see, the evangelist just charging me. Oh, and I didn't get the backstab. And I got caught off that swing too, but I think I avoid the next couple. Yeah. So finishing off the evangelist, I don't believe I get any drops, unfortunately. These guys don't seem to like to give me loot. I continue on, grabbing this item before continuing back down. It's an ember. Killing this crossbow man, although there's no reason to really kill this crossbow man. Actually, I don't think I'd kill him. I missed the plunging attack, and there's no reason to kill him, so I just skip through ahead. This time I have to go the whole way down the stairs and take a left. This left allows me to go into the opened up area where the ambush will also happen. As you've seen the 3 thralls that ambushed me, they can drop down here too if you decide to not go to the upper level. And there's a Cathedral Knight ahead. Cathedral Knight's quite strong. These ones with the maces are perhaps the most annoying because of the big shields. Although I don't have too much trouble with them. They can also reduce the damage you do to them with their special ability, and they're able to buff their mace, which is quite good if you can't kill them quickly. The mace buffing allows you to get quick backstabs, which is amazing, but if you can't kill them after the backstab, the mace buff really does hurt you because it summons these bubbles which do damage and push you back. In this room there's also an ambush, but I'd advise not skipping this because it does give one of the better rings for a lot of those in the game, the Aldrich Sapphire, which allows you to recover focus points, which are mana, from your critical attacks, so whenever you get a backstab, he's not that difficult, honestly. The worst thing you can do here is panic, because the curse will build up and kill you instantly. Just take your time, avoid his attacks, poke away at him. There you see, we get the Aldrich Sapphire, very powerful ring. Not for every build, of course. If you don't use mana, or your FP as it's called in this game, it's quite useless, but for builds that do, it's nice to have an option to regain some mana from your melee attacks. I'm going to clear off this side first, but I will get invaded here by Longfinger Kirk. a bit of fan service from Dark Souls 1, I guess. Kirk, Knight of Thorns. There's a few of these guys I want to finish off first. these thralls can be quite a nuisance, especially when there's multiple of them. So finishing them off quickly is probably a good idea. I get poisoned here, unfortunately, but I've no poison moss to take it off, but that's no big deal since it's not a... Well, poison itself is not that much damage. As you can see, my health bar is going down really slowly compared to, say, Dark Souls 2, where it would be quite rapid. Finish off the last of the thralls before continuing on to fight Kirk. Kirk's quite tough, actually. He does a lot of damage, fast swings, and he rolls around and deals damage to you when he's rolling. As you see, when he rolls, I took a significant amount of damage from his armor and his shield. Although with poison on me already, I can just, you know, heal up the little trickle damage he does, and he doesn't have any poise, so taking him out nice and patiently, getting those little thrust attacks in, and eventually he'll die, and you'll get his sword and his shield. Quite good weapons, actually. Quite good items. Okay, next up you've this swamp area, which is actually, unfortunately, the poo of the giant that's on the left. Right there. And we're going to go and take out that giant now. It's advisable to do so because he does drop large titanite shards, which, of course, are very useful for upgrading your items to +6. You need 12 total to get +6, 2 for the first upgrade, 4 for the second, and 3 for the third. At that point, it would be +6. So it's worth taking these guys out. They're not that difficult. They do have a lot of HP and they do a lot of damage, but they don't often hit you. If you can just avoid their stomp attacks and stay at their feet, they really just can't do any damage. Although I don't seem to do much damage either, taking this guy out quite slowly. But that's what the S-Stock's kind of good for. It's got fast attacks, which can really, you know, do some damage, high DPS over time. Okay, so I have 3 items to get here. I'll probably pick up the large titanite that the giant dropped when I'm on my way back out of here, because I'll have to go through the store anyways. Okay, and through the store is a Saint's Bident and a Soul Packet. So I'm gonna go and pick both of those items up. Why not? It's only a quick double door opening. And yeah, poison, as you see, is still on me, but it's not doing all that much damage. I guess a full poison bar will actually do a significant amount of damage to your health, but the fact is it's so slow that you can just kind of, you know, ignore it for the most part. Every 30 seconds take an Estus and you should be fine. Especially if you're continuing through the level and taking damage from enemies anyways, it's just like, whatever. It's so inconsequential. So continuing back up the stairs, we have 2 items to pick up: the large titanite with the dung pie, that's what the giant drops, and the maiden set from the other side. So yeah, hopefully I don't forget the maiden set here. I don't think I do. I'm pretty certain I don't. But if I do, it's to the left of me right now. Oh no, I'm going there now. Okay. And yeah, that's kind of this end of the cathedral. There's another part to the left of, well, to the right of our character now, but as soon as I start walking back to where I came from, there's another part to the left which unlocks another shortcut to the other door in the bonfire room. So yeah, I'll be doing quite alright. And the shortcut area that I mentioned earlier that wasn't part of the cathedral, or wasn't part of the inner cathedral, that's where I'll be going after I rest at the bonfire when I get back there. Quickly avoiding that cathedral knight, not really worth dealing with him, especially when he has 2 thralls right beside him. Instead, I take the long road around, after picking up the item, of course. There's the levers you can pull, which lift up the gates. I'm going to show you that soon. There's no reason to do this except to trigger an NPC event, but I will not trigger that event in this walkthrough because it requires you loading the area 3 or 4 times, and you still have to get lucky to trigger the event. It's just, the triggers are just so awful in this game. It doesn't seem to work most time. Oh, the Cathedral Knight really not having a good time. I think I might actually just kill him. I can't quite remember. They're not that difficult though, so... Yeah, backstab. You just have to wait for them to start swinging and try and, you know, go fishing for the backstab and you should be okay. Alright. moving on. I think I lifted the lever at this point. Remember, blocking against these smaller thralls is usually really effective, just because you get extra damage when you get them to kind of stagger after a block, and also they can't really do much past doing a shield. The thrall there just died to his own poison, and as you see, the lever is lifting there. That's the gate that lifted up. There's no reason to do this, as I said, except to trigger an event. I found that there's just really no point in general, but I do it anyways, just to show off what happens, and just show you where the lever locations are, in case you do want to trigger the event. Going down these stairs, I'll be approaching a bonfire, the same bonfire as the last bonfire. I'll just be approaching it from a different side and unlocking a shortcut. There we go. And to the right of us, no, not now. To the right of us now, where that door was, is the upper area of the cathedral I was talking about earlier, and I mentioned a few times. But this is the shortcut to the bonfire, so I'll quickly rest here before going back into the cathedral. Okay, all rested up, and I'll continue on, taking a left at the next door and taking an elevator up. Yeah. This is not a secret, but you can quite easily miss this entire upper part, because once you get up to the top of this elevator, you'll see that there's no real obvious way to continue on. It's just a sort of dead end. It leads you back to the area at the start of the cathedral where the crossbowman was firing at you. But if you go where the crossbowman was and go across the ledge, you'll notice not only a gorgeous view right here. Up there is Hawkeye Gao's tower, and a ladder leading upwards. And again, when you get to the top of this ladder, there's no obvious way forward, but I'll show you where you can drop down to continue on to an entire secret area with not only Covenant, but an armor set and the red sign soapstone, which is good for PvP. So I got the deep ring off that lone Deacon. Deep ring is kind of okay. I'm showing off some of the items, the barbed straight sword, for example, that I got earlier in this level. So pause it if you'd like to see the stats on them. Although I don't quite meet the requirements for all of them. But yeah, the deep ring allows you to attune additional spells. Just a single extra attunement slot for that one. But it's still quite good for this early in the game, especially if you're using a casting build. I am, of course, not, so of course I won't be using it. And there you go, there's the deep ring and the Lloyd Swords ring I mentioned earlier. I drop down here, and make sure you just walk off, don't jump off, because you might just roll off to their side and die, and you don't want that to happen, especially after going up an elevator and up a set of a ladder. Okay, this guy here can be quite tough because you're on such a narrow ledge. And make sure you kill these trolls that pop up, because you don't want to be facing one of these plus a larger enemy. He drops a Titanite shard for me, which is kind of obsolete at this point because there's just so many of them for every weapon I'd ever want them for. But still, it's something. You never know. This guy was kicking my ass, but fortunately for me, I have the rapier or one spam that I can just follow up with after he goes into his recovery animation. Going down here at the end, there will be an arbalest, which is a powerful crossbow. I want to say it's okay. It's kind of a standard crossbow, and I'm not a fan of crossbows in this game in general. One of the thralls will have dropped down behind us here, so make sure you take him out. I wouldn't advise skipping any of these enemies just because you're on a narrow ledge, so an ambush is really quite fatal. And as you see, there's the thrall up ahead, but there's also one hanging off the ledge to the side, so after you kill this one, make sure you take on that one that's going to sneak up behind you. A Pale Tongue is a Covenant item, and you can offer them to change your stats in the game. So you can reset all your levels and then spend an equal amount of level up points as you had before you offer the Pale Tongue. And you can also change your appearance with it, although I've never used this feature before. And these rafters above the cathedral that you're on now, they can be abused by killing enemies without actually fighting them. And I wouldn't advise fighting a single enemy up here, just because if you fall, you'll be falling to your death, and it's not the funnest place to get back to. So that's why I'm leaving these cathedral knights up here, so hopefully they can fall down and I won't have to fight them. You can choose to fight them on the solid ground to the right there, but there's no real point unless you really want their loot. You can also pick up the loot from the ground below if they do fall down. So, you know, if you really want the Cathedral Knight Greatsword, for example, of this guy here, you can look down, see if he's dropped anything, and if he has, well, you can go down. You don't have to rest at a bonfire before continuing. So yeah, I'd advise doing that if you want. He unfortunately did not drop anything. These guys rarely drop anything. There's 2 more Cathedral Knights up ahead and a couple of thralls left. But one of these Cathedral Knights can be quite a pain because he has a crossbow, and the crossbow bolts can knock you off the rafters. So be careful. Take the one knight with the greatsword across the rafters. Hopefully he'll die so that you can keep your shield up and walk slowly towards this one with the shield. When you get close, he'll switch to his mace, and when he does that, you can be you know, safe because he won't be able to shoot you off. So that's quite nice. Drop off again here. You'll take a small bit of fall damage, but you should be okay, and the Cathedral Knight will not follow you. There will be these maggot creatures. I don't know how to describe them. I guess they're giant maggots. They'll fall from the ceiling too. I'll show you that in a moment. Not this room, but the next room they will. So go up the stairs. Take out the casters first. The one on the opposite end will not aggro, and he's the one who drops the red sign stone. So kill this one first, and you'll notice tons of these maggot men just all over the floor. They'll continuously drop down from the ceiling. There is a limited number of them, but they will surprise you. They'll continue to drop down even as you kill more. After getting the red sign stone, you can open this door. Ignore all the maggot creatures. They don't drop anything particularly amazing, and you know, they don't offer so many souls that they're worth farming either. So continue into this room with the bonfire. This is the Rosarius Fingers Covenant, and this is what Yellowfinger Hazel, who we fought in the previous episode in the Crucifixion Woods, they're part of this covenant, and so is Longfinger Kirk also, and so is Ringfinger, who is at the Farling Shrine. I'll not join the Covenant right now simply because it does mess up a certain NPC's questline in Farling Shrine, which I may decide to do this playthrough for myself. But yeah, you can go ahead and join Rosarius Fingers. It will only mess up one questline, and it offers you another questline in place of that one. So, you know, it's up to you. It probably takes 2 playthroughs to get both questlines done, but neither will like really affect your progress in the game. Continuing back into the Cathedral, I will be going to the other giant now, and you may not have seen the other giant earlier, but he's directly across from us right there to our right. I'll be lifting up this other bridge wall kind of thing from under the water. I'll show you that in a moment after pulling this lever. Oh, so as you can see, it's rising up from the water, but I do have to kill this troll, or else he'll kill me. As I said, there's no point to doing this unless you want to trigger an NPC event, but I'm doing it anyway for completionist's sake. Now, this giant is tougher than the other one because there's tons of slimes, which are really highly resistant to all non-fire damage. So if you want to kill these slimes, you need to, you know, get some fire bombs on and take them out. At least take most of their health out, because the giant will do friendly AoE damage against them. So yeah, you can see one slime right there beside me. There's quite a lot of these. I think there's about 8 of them in the actual poo of the giant. That sounds weird, but it is what it is. So you take out most of their health. You can't kill them in one hit, but it doesn't matter because the giant should finish them off, and if not, you can finish them off with a single rapier thrust attack. So as you see, I've finished off most of them. Now I'll get straight onto the giant. This one is, I feel, slightly tougher than the other one just because of the slimes just poking you and, you know, staggering you and allowing the giant to actually hit you. We'll take out another one of the slimes here. It's best off to just take this easy and try and, you know, whittle down the slimes as you're taking down the giant. And it's certainly worth it because there's not only full armor set here, but you get the large Titanite shard and a couple of soul packets. So really, really worth it. Okay. Not much really to talk about here. This guy's just a huge meat shield, and one of the maggot creatures just drops down, which it's the only one of them that will drop down, but it's kind of interesting because it shows that they're on the roof, you know, it shows that there's maybe something up there, so you maybe should investigate further, or at least look for a way up there, which is a nice, if not obscure, kind of hint to the Covenant above. and now the giant is nearly dead, so I can finish off the last couple of slimes and reap the rewards. An entire armor set and Titanite shards, just amazing. Oh, that nice large Titanite shard, just so useful for this point, because it means that when you go into the next area, you'll have a +6 rapier or whatever weapon you so choose. I will wield the drying armor. I don't wield it wear the drying armor, just because it is light. At least the chest piece is lighter, and it has good resistances, and it looks pretty cool, and it's a change from what I've been wearing for the entire playthrough so far, thus far. Pick up the drying hammers. I've never used these weapons before, but they could be quite good. Should give them a try if you want to. They're dual wielding maces, so to speak. Grabbing the pale tongue, so now I have 2 of those pale tongues. I have 3 of them actually at this point because of getting one in the undead settlement area as well. So here you see me equipping the drying set, and it has quite nice stats overall. It's not too much heavier than the boots, and the gloves aren't too much heavier but much stronger, and the chest weighs nearly half as much and isn't much weaker. And I do put on the worker hat too. I don't know why I do this, but well, the worker hat is pretty damn awesome, so there should be no complaints. We're nearly at the end of this area actually. There's just the boss and a couple more of those cathedral knights. So I'll circle around here to the top of this ledge and get the ember. Good item to pick up, just have a good stock of those if you want to be summoning people for co-op throughout the game, or if you are going to be dying a bit more, as you should. It is Dark Souls 3 of course, and if this is your first Dark Souls game, you may struggle to defeat some bosses. Take out this Cathedral Knight, who's quite a toughie. I've not killed many of these Cathedral Knights with the big swords, so I'm kind of unfamiliar with the moveset, and he does catch me off guard a couple of times. I usually skip this guy, and I'd advise you doing so too, unless you really want the sword. It's quite a nice sword by all accounts. I don't get anything nice here. I might get a leggings, I'm sure. I don't think I do. No, unfortunately not. I actually go to the boss first and then come back and finish off the area, which is, it kind of sucks for, for viewing. You want the boss to be the last thing you do, but it's better off taking this route and killing the boss first, because at least then you won't be wasting time coming back and backtracking to the boss arena. It's quite an easy boss. In fact, it's quite a joke boss because it's just so easy. You just hit the one with the red aura on him. The red aura will jump from person to person as you kill them. But when the boss gets to about 60% of his full health, the actual boss will be summoned, which is the Archbishop. So you just keep slowly, picking off the red aura guys, running around the crowd. They don't really attack you all that often, and when they do barely any damage. Chunk by chunk, these guys will spawn. They only take 2 or 3 hits to kill, and when they do die, they take a chunk of the boss's health bar off. I think this might be the last one or the second to last one, where the actual Archbishop is summoned. But this part of the fight is super easy. The next fight is actually not that much harder, and as you see, the Archbishop is summoned, and he takes reasonable amounts of damage. I'm not really getting hit. As you see, they do hit you sometimes, but it doesn't hurt that much. It's for a boss. Just keep poking away, ignoring all the damage, and the boss dies. So as you can see, I'm pretty much just spamming your run button and healing up when I get extremely low, and I still defeat the boss. It's that easy, guys. You should have no problem here. Even if you do struggle with a lot of Dark Souls 3 bosses, this one is just not one that you should struggle with. Just pick them off slowly, and if you're struggling, or if you're genuinely not high enough level, or you don't have a strong enough weapon, just take your time. I was completely rushing it and playing recklessly, and I still got the boss down. So if you take your time, you'll be able to do way better than I did just there. Continuing on, we did pick up the Archbishop set, or the Archdeacon set. I'm not quite sure which one it was, which is a quite good set overall. Actually, I see a lot of people wearing it in PvP, but I guess that's just because they want to look like the Pope. I'm not quite sure, but I do see a lot of people wearing it. And you pick up that 3-piece set from after you rest at the bonfire. It will spawn, not beforehand, so you do have to rest at the bonfire, and that's why I did rest at the bonfire, despite it being despite it resetting all of the Cathedral Knights in the area. Next I open the front door. This is the front door to the cathedral, and you might say, well, some shortcut this is, and it really is not a very good shortcut because you've already finished the entire area by this point that you'll get here. All that will be left is the boss and one more item, oddly enough. Continuing down here, and you'll see a bridge across to the Covenant area, and this is where the trigger for the event will be. An NPC will be standing right there if you've lifted up both of the gates and reset the area by resting at a bonfire, teleporting to, say, Firling Shrine, and then coming back to this zone. Here you see the bridge, and thank you guys for watching. That's all it is in the Cathedral of the Deep. I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, and good luck. Hope you enjoyed.